Welcome to my kitchen. We're getting ready to make a basic pie crust, and this is the basis for all of your pastries and pies that you would make. Apple pie, blueberry pie. You're going to start with this recipe. So we're going to start out with 3 cups of flour, and you just kind of want to gently scoop the flour in, scrape the top, put it in your bowl. This just keeps everything light. If I were to dig and scoop, that would just pack that flour in there a little too tight. So it's always a good idea to lift, drop, scrape. All right. And I always like to put in a little bit of extra flour that I'm going to use for dusting. Okay, next dry ingredient is 1½ teaspoons of salt. Sprinkle that on. And a tablespoon of sugar. And now we're just going to take a whisk and basically just kind of blend that in as best we can. Now we are going to add the fat. Now, a word about the fat. What we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be using a mixture of half butter and half lard. Now, I like lard because I like the way that it tastes and I like the texture that it brings to the pie. I figure if I'm making a pie, it's going to be a good pie. But you can use Crisco or you can use all Crisco. But basically, the ratio of fat to flour should be, or the other way around, flour to fat should be 3 to 1. 3 cups flour, 1 cup fat. This is a ½ cup of lard. This is a ½ cup of butter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add our cup of fat. This is ½ cup of lard. Okay, there it goes. And with the butter, I'm just going to basically cut this into, pats. I want to kind of break this up ahead of time so that when I go to cut it in, it's going to be a little bit easier. So here goes my ½ cup of butter, which is 1 stick, by the way. All right, that's in there. Okay, now we're going to start cutting this in. You just take 2 knives, and just like you're cutting up your steak or something, basically you just want to cut these pieces up and break them into small pieces. Work the flour around, spin the bowl if you have to. And you can do the entire process like this. Basically you're looking to get this mixture into very coarse looking crumbs, sort of like the size of like a pea. Okay, so that's obviously still too big. Now if this is taking too long, and if you happen to have a pastry blender with you, which I have, by all means, go ahead and use it. This is a great time saver. You just basically press straight down, give it a little turn. Don't worry if it sticks to this thing. Sometimes you can knock those large pieces off. And you just want to keep pressing and turning. See, I'm kind of working across the bowl this way. And I kind of try to make sure that I'm hitting that edge of the bowl as well and incorporating as much fat into that flour as possible. Now this is starting to, see how this is starting to look a little bit more like what we want. Those are just about the size of the pieces that we want. We'll go just a little bit more here. It's looking great. And I'll look at my pastry blender here, and I'll scrape occasionally with a knife, and then give it one more go around here. Just working my way across, and that is great. That's, even if it clumps a little bit, that's okay, but that's exactly the texture that I want for the fat.